Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Little something different today, something that I haven't done for about 10 years. I am going to paint up some miniatures. I have in front of me already put together and base coated in white the Amazon Blood Bowl team. Now 10 years ago, thereabouts, I wasn't too bad at it. We're going to see how I fare going straight in there. I haven't tested on a model or anything. I've just got them ready. I've got my colours ready. I've got my brushes ready. My piece of wipe, my brush kitchen roll there. My water ready. What I plan to do is factory style. All of one colour done across the board. All of another colour done across the board. So on and so forth. Wash them. Dry brush them. So keeping it simple. Colour speaks for itself. It's just to outright put the colour in place. Wash is to seep into all the crevices, to highlight detail or to low light detail. And then dry brush with the selective colours, or maybe a lighter one, we'll see when we get to that point, to bring out the highlights. So let's just do this. We will see one being done, per each round of colour, and then we'll skip to all of that colour being done across the board. Let's just do this. So I'm going with Kislev Flesh for the flesh. I've already shook these up. These are brand new, so let's try not to make a paint explosion. And I've got several brushes to try and work with. So I'm going to see how this one fares. Let's get a super tiny brush because that is a super tiny face. Right. We've just got to go for this. Otherwise we'll never know if we can. Okay, we have one flesh done, and I'll be honest, I was really nervous doing it because I haven't painted, and these are for my other half. So even though he told me just tabletop standard, which is what I know I'm more than capable of, and he knows I'm more than capable of it too, I haven't put, as I said, I haven't put brush to miniature in around 10 years. So, and obviously a lot of things have changed in those past 10 years. My eyes are not what they used to be. My hands are not what they used to be. But that wasn't bad. Didn't take too long. I think I've got everywhere. And because there's going to be a wash, it gives you a little bit of freedom, because the wash is going to seep into all the little tiny places that you might not see or be able to get to yourself. I will take that as a start. So yes, I think so. I'm sat down for a change because I needed all the stability I could. I think I'm about in the right place there. That's not bad, right? 11 more to go. So we're gonna jump forward to all these 11 being done, skin-wise. We have all the flesh done. That took around about 2 hours, which was too bad. I'm thinking green next, which is going to be for all the material, apart from the little loincloth, the little dangly bit. So that's going to be the next sort of biggest chunk. So I figured that would be the order to go. So like with the others, do one in green so you can see, and then jump to all the others being done. And this has already been shook up, and this is Moot Green I'm going with. I am, because I never mentioned it, using Citadel paints. There's lots you can choose from. I've just always worked with Citadel paints. I really like them. I find them really easy to work with. So let's do this. Where first? Yeah. Okay, well that is all, well that's what's going to be green. The skirt, the top and the fabric under the arms there. So I'm going to crack on with that. There's going to be a bit of touch up as I'm going, so I might do that in between things because I'll always find a little odd, a bit like on this lady. Needs a little bit of flesh tucked right in there. So yep, that's my plan for the next possibly 2 hours again. All the green is done. Checking that one out. So we have all the fabric greened up. There will be some touch up as I'm going, so there'll be a little bit slip in here or there. I tend to save touch up to just before the wash. So now we are looking at doing all the metal, everything that I'm going to perceive as metal. I'm using Auric Armour Gold, nice bright gold. So let's get doing this. Well, that's what we're looking at to be all the metal bits. Helmet, shoulder pads, necklace, gauntlets, and loincloth buckle, and plate on the back. Now, this is a very bright gold, so this might take 2 coats. We'll see. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We shall jump to all the metal being done. Well, all the metal is now done. All the armour, plating, gauntlets, helmet, shoulder pads, jewellery. Now it's for the hair. Now my other half has chosen how he wants the hair. We're going a bit war paint-esque, so it's like they've just sloshed their hair in their war paint. It's going with positionals, so all of each positional will be that particular colour. It's also a nice easy visual identifier when you're playing. So we have these 6 in yellow, these 2 in red, these 2 in purple, these 2 in blue. We'll do 1 flash forward, 1 flash forward, 1 flash forward and 1 flash forward. So let's get Flash Gits Yellow out, nice and vibrant. And we'll discuss the feathers when we get to them. Oh yes, and this will be hair and loincloths. The hair and the loincloth are going to be the same. Okay, so we will jump forward to all of the line women looking like that. And I must remember now not to pick them up by the hair like I have been doing. Okay, all the yellow is done. The gold did as well, by the way, have a second coat because it was a bit wishy-washy, but it's nice and popping now. Now I may or may not do the same with the hair. We'll see how they dry, because I've only just done them, though they're pretty much dry. This dries really quickly. For the red, we have Contrast Bal Red. Now, I picked Contrast because it was the brightest red that I had. And it, on test, looked to go on all right, so fingers crossed it performs well now. We'll see. That's really nice red. Oh, we will jump to the next one being done. Not pick her up by her hair. The red is all done. And my, is that fiery. I love it. Now purple, and we have Zeus. I'm going to go with Zeus. Looking pretty good. Another little jump forward to this one being done. Right, purple lady's done. Blue lady's left to go. We have Lothern Blue. The blue. We get the last one jump forward to being done. And then we'll discuss the feathers. All the hair is done. Well, the hair in the dangly bit. Now, I was going to do the feathers next, but then I was thinking about the snakes, and I'm thinking, get them done because they've got the tiniest bit of armour over the top of their heads, and then they'll be up to speed with the actual Amazons themselves and just getting the feathers done. And then we'll do detail. Well, little finishing touches, because some of them have got a little bit of binding around the hair, a little bit of binding around their legs, straps under the arms. So with the snakes, we're having one black and one orange. We'll go orange first. We've got Troll Slayer orange, which is really nice and bright. It looks like the feathers are just coming right out of its head. That's what it looks like. It doesn't seem to have anything holding them there, no. We'll come back to the head part. We'll start with the body. And black for the other one. Gone round the eyes fine. And there's tiny, tiny, tiny little fangs to avoid. I think we've done it. Now the plan with the feathers is every colour but whatever their hair is. So red, purple, blue, yellow, purple, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, purple. So I'll start red. I'll try and do all the red across the board. So we'll flash forward at this point. Okay, we have all the feathers done. And the feathers on the snake's head and the snake's eyes. We've got green on the orange and red on the black, so I can't remember whether I recorded that bit or not. Now it's detail work. Well, I say detail, it's all the strappings, yeah, all the strappings and the rope, so bits around anything ropey or strappy. And I'm trying, because I just wanted something neutral since there's a lot of colour going on. Bugman's Glow. Now I haven't tried this before, so not sure. I think this should be right. It's quite neutral, and I've got to look at finding out a brown for the ball. Let's have a look. Let's just try, see how it looks. Yeah, we will press forward with that. Push forward to them all being done. Well, we have done all of the groundwork. Now for the brave bit. And I say brave because I haven't, like mentioned at the very beginning of this video, I haven't painted a miniature in about 10 years. The brave bit now is trusting the wash to bring out all the detail. Now I'm going with Seraphim Sepia because I was going to go for Agrax Earthshade, but Seraphim Sepia is a touch lighter for one, which is good because we want to keep these vibrant, and it's a good flesh tone, especially for the sort of flesh tones I'm working with the Amazon. So I just have to trust the process. Let's do this. I have got a big soft brush here. Trust it. Trust it. I am going to do that to all of them. And I know I can trust it now, because the yellow was the palest. I'm going to flash forward to all of the lovely ladies. Well, not lovely ladies, Amazon warriors being washed. And then we'll decide what to do from there. Okay, we trust the process, and the wash is done. And that is what a wash can do, bring out all the detail. So next, a little dry brush. Very, very light, just to pick out detail. We've already done that, just to highlight. So I've got an old brush here that I've trimmed right down because I just need it short. And dry brushing is pretty much what it says. It's a dry brush. You take as much paint off as possible so you've barely got anything on there. And you just brush over. and it's going to pick out all the raised detail. So it's only a subtle thing. It's worth doing, and it doesn't take long, and because it's a dry brush it dries really, really quickly. So I'm going to do that right across the board, and then we'll come back and do the next step, because we're getting close to doing the bases. Dry brushing is done. Pretty much all over. Two things left to do, sort of three. Bases, numbers, varnish, because we want to protect these. Maraviroth wants them to be positional based, so the throwers, the catchers, the blitzers and things like that to be the early numbers, and the general linemen to be the later numbers, because they're the ones that you can always get more of in a team, but you're restricted to how many special positionals you can have. He wants them white, because that's going to be across the board, because no team eventually is going to be white, so that's going to stand out. And they have a very, very, very tiny brush for this, and they're going to be manually put on. So I'm going to start, oddly enough, with the line women. So let's do this. Okay, numbers done. Okay, you can see them, there's going to be a lot of shine. Now, bases. So, to begin with, I'm going to black the edges. This is going to be a uniform thing across the board. They're all going to have bases, dependent on what race they are. So the Amazon are going to have a nice green, grassy base. But the uniform element is going to be, the edge here is going to be black across the board. So we're going to flash forward to that being done 2 times right across the board. All the black edges are done. Now for the actual base itself, I am going to paint it before I flock and add dirt and texture, just so we don't have any white peering through. And because we're going for a grass dirt mix, I'm going to go with a really dark green, just so any bits that show through aren't going to show through bright white. I have got Vulcan green here, and this hasn't got to be perfect. This has just got to cover the white, basically. And we don't want to go over the feet. And that's what we're going to be doing to all of them. So we will skip forward again, and anywhere where I happen to go over into the black, which happened there, I will touch up. Okay, last but one stage. So now, basing. I have a mix here of flock and dirt. Not dirt, but, you know, brown dust. So this is going to be my base mix. I have Elmer's clear glue, so that's really good for basing. A little bit of that in there. And I have a tub to work out of because flock is going to go everywhere. So I'm going to glue all the green, tweeze some flock and pat it on. I've got two loads of tweezers here, seeing which one will work best, depending on where I need to get. The stage after that is just going to be varnish, so I'll be doing that off screen. It's just going to be spray varnish. So let's get glue in and base in. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got a board set up over there to pop these on, so I'm going to leave them for 24 hours to thoroughly dry. Then I'll give them a really good tap off and then a varnish. And the Amazon are done. They have been varnished. That was the only thing left to do. And this has given me the painting itch. I want to paint more, which is absolutely fine. My other half has a load of teams for me to paint. And we still have, because we did used to both do a lot of tabletop wargaming, so there's so many 40k, 30k, fantasy even, mini figures to paint. I think we'll be doing this roughly once a month. I'm going to focus on the Blood Bowl teams to begin with. Keep honing in the skills. But to say I haven't painted a miniature for about 10 years, that's not bad. That's a half decent tabletop standard. And just using the basics, a layer of colour, a wash, and a very light dry brush. And some half decent base. I enjoyed this. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas for anyone who hasn't painted before, or who has and, like myself, hasn't done it for a very long time. And let me know what you think. Do you think they look cool? I don't know if I can lay most of them down so you can see them. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's giving you some ideas to try yourself if you haven't before, or if you haven't for a very long time. Pretty easy way to start. Minimal detail, so you don't have to get in there and be all super fine. Like if you like what you see, comment if you got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more. Thank you all again so much. Take care, and see you in the next one.